And now for something completely different.
Doctor Who, The Mutants.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to a Tin Dog podcast, where I'll be talking about The Mutants, a DVD released at the end of January 2011 with the Third Doctor and Joe. For those of you who don't know why this episode of the Tin Dog podcast opened with the Monty Python theme tune, I just need to say that this story opens with a man with a beard, dishevelled and torn, running through a wasteland and running right up to the camera, and it truly looks like the opening of a handful of Python stories. Let's leave it there and crash on, shall we?
Solos will find itself with a new atmosphere.
Even if it means wiping out every Solonian in the process.
This planet is one of the richest fuel sources in the galaxy.
Genocide is a side effect.
Already the pollution is causing mutations.
No! The mutants are evil! Must be destroyed!
I must find the answer.
You should be grateful to him.
He's quite mad.
Oh no, Doctor. Madmen lose. I've won.
Shoot, big cops!
As I said about Meglos, this was not a story I was looking forward to having to review. I had memories of it being long and a little bit drawn out, of it feeling clunky, but as always I wanted to bring a new, fresh pair of eyes and see the story afresh. I'd always known that this story was an allegory. John Pertwee's Doctor does very good line in allegories. We'd had the miners' strike, we'd had joining the EU, or EEC as it was then, as well as, of course, Doctor Who dealing with issues of the time, like the green stuff, in, of course, the Green Death. So here, The Mutants, on one level, definitely deals with racism, but it also deals, as an allegory, with the loss of empire for the British. And by British, of course, I mean the upper class, and coming to terms with control over your own destiny. Let me explain. The Doctor in this story is given a package to deliver to someone, and he's not told who, by his own people, to someone on board a space station around a planet called Solos. The Doctor travels to this space station and tries to deliver it to a variety of people. Eventually, of course, he finds out it's for someone, one of the natives from the planet, but that would, of course, be a spoiler. The themes of this are not just race and loss of empire. The overriding thought behind the whole story is one of evolution. It's butterflies, it's people becoming something better than they already were, but having to go through an intermediate stage. It's very difficult to talk about this story without giving away too many spoilers. I may already have spoiled too many things, but is it possible to spoil a story that was shown in 1972? Yes, this story's got problems. The explosive decompression, the achingly long storyline, the pointless mad scientists just thrown in for good measure, the incredibly good acting of Geoffrey What's-his face out of Butterflies, and the fact that he really doesn't make it all the way through. Well, let's not spoil that, shall we? These are all great, wonderful things. The best thing by far of the story, of course, is the mutants themselves. The costumes' insectoidness is glorious. We do see them again, rather oddly, in the brain of Morbius for a few moments, but that just messes with the continuity of this story, so let's just leave it there, shall we? I think it best. This time round I found the mutants, well, gripping, actually interesting. It held my interests considerably more than it ever used to on good old VHS. It looked so much better, the colour transfer worked better, and now thinking back, I never actually bought it. I taped it off UK Gold, which could explain a lot, using the long play setting on a VHS, staying up way past my bedtime, cutting out adverts with a pause button. Yes, that's why the quality was so bad. Such things just don't happen these days. Could somebody have a word with the Sky Channel and get them to repeat old-fashioned Doctor Who? Or would that just get in the way of the new series? You know, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Let us see some old stuff. Have I rambled? Who cares? Extras on this disc are all on disc 2, with of course the exceptions of the rather nice audio commentaries. The main extra on this disc is a documentary called Race Against Time, which looks at black and non-white actors as seen in and around Doctor Who and through the history of TV. It's an absolute must for anyone studying media history. It's narrated by Noel Clarke and is truly great to listen to. At the very end there's a montage, rather cleverly put together, of stills, famous stills from Doctor Who's history, using different black actors to illustrate how it would have looked if it had been completely recast the other way around. The idea of Don Warrington playing the Fourth Doctor, or even superbly thought out Derek Griffiths being the Third, I was absolutely blown away by, and so need those photographs. Just thinking about it now, I'd love to see Genesis of the Daleks with Don Warrington, and the number of people that I only ever thought could get away with wearing a velvet jacket has just gone up by 1. Also on this DVD is an interview with the massively award-winning designer, telling some great stories and some not-so-great stories about his work on Doctor Who. There are some great stories he tells, including a very nice one all about the 3 Doctors and the Gel Guards not particularly being, well, as good as everyone had thought they'd be. So, to sum up, The Mutants is much better than I remembered it being. It's a great John Pertwee story with some lovely acting, some very nice shouting, and the new transfer is well worth a good look at. I'll return very shortly, using a H1 recorder to record new and forthcoming podcasts. So until next time, be seeing you.
Urgent subspace communication incoming.
And now, a blatant commercial. Christmas is just around the corner, and I've decided, in order to pay for Christmas, to sell some of my most beloved Doctor Who items. I'll be selling them over the next few weeks on eBay, so if you're interested in having a look at what I'm selling, please head over to the Tin Dog Podcast website, that's www.tin-dog.co.uk, and click on the banner marked Whostrology. Everything that I'll be selling will be listed there. These will include the Doctor Who role-playing game, several rare books, a Cyberman head, and a solid silver TARDIS pendant, handmade and one of only 10 ever made. Many other items will also be listed in the run-up to Christmas, so consider this a heads up, and keep checking back to see if I've added anything else. Thanks for listening, and be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.